A rise in storm intensity prompts calls for a whole new category of hurricane. Heat trapped by fossil fuel emissions is making Earth's atmosphere huff and puff with increasing fury. Some winds are now blowing so intensely that researchers propose adding an even more extreme category to the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. As a cautious scientist, you never want to cry wolf. Lawrence Berkeley, National Laboratory climate scientist Michael Weiner told Dinah Voiles-Pulver at USA Today, "But the wolf is here," he said. "The scale the U.S. has been using since the early 1970s extends from Category 1, indicating an irritating 120 kilometers or 74 miles an hour winds, to a harrowing 250 kilometers per hour, that's 157 miles per hour, or Category 5 hurricane. Winds this powerful can demolish houses and destroy infrastructure, leaving areas uninhabitable for weeks, if not months. But 252 kilometers per hour no longer captures the extent to which these storms can now blow," Werner and former climate scientist James Kosig argue. And because climate change, increased temperature and moisture, which are the sources of the energy for the hurricane or tropical cyclone, one would expect this time speed limit to increase, Werner explains, and indeed it does. From 1980 to 2021, there's been an increase in storms well beyond Category 5's baseline. So the researchers propose extending the classification system to include Category 6, which would encompass hurricane with winds racing at 192 miles an hour or more. That's 310 kilometers or more. At least 5 storms since 1980 would fall into that category, and all of them have occurred in just the last 9 years. This includes one of the most powerful tropical storms recorded yet, Typhoon Haiyan. In November 2013, this storm belted the Philippines with 315 kilometers an hour winds, leaving in excess 4 million people homeless with 6,300 victims. The team's modeling suggests the Gulf of Mexico would experience a doubling of Category 6 storms at around 2 degrees Celsius of global warming above pre-industrial levels, and regions near the Philippines can expect an increase of about 50%. The current scale is inadequate, the team argues in their paper. At 346 kilometers an hour, Hurricane Patricia, which hit Mexico in 2015, was 97 kilometers per hour faster than the lower limit of Category 5. The increasing scale is problematic in the context of communicating expected increases in peak tropical cyclone wind speeds under climate change. University of Otago hydroclimatologist Daniel Kingston says. Kingston explains that although other regions like New Zealand may not experience the full brunt of cyclones directly, remnants of the storms can still cause far-reaching devastation, such as the flooding occurring right now down Australia's east coast after a cyclone in the north. The most common and widespread impacts from any tropical cyclone is water damage from rain and storm surge, notes Raveen Das, manager of New Zealand's Tropical Cyclone Warning Centre. Other researchers agree wind speed is not the best reflection of these storms' impacts, let alone the only measure of its destruction. While other regions use different cyclone scales, they're also based on wind speeds and have the similar open-ended upper limits, so meteorologists globally are watching this discussion with interest. While adding a 6th category to the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale would not solve the issue of storm surge risk, it could raise awareness about perils of the increasing risk of major TCs due to global warming, Werner and Cossin conclude. The research was published in PNAS, and this is on Science Alert by Tessa Kumunduros. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support. and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.